Welcome to Bituminous Coal. Today on Bituminous Coal, we'll go to Union City, Indiana, and Union City, Ohio. Now, we know that CSX certainly has been busy updating signaling. Recall the Pennsylvania Railroad position lights that were recently replaced in Indianapolis at CP Dale. Now the Conrail era signals at Union City will be replaced, along with the conduit and the cables and the bungalows. This is a major undertaking and it's now underway. This is the Indianapolis Line, so there are plenty of trains. The directional bores are working, and sometimes the trains are running by as their installation occurs. There's even transload action. Let's go to the signal work. Let's go to Union City. Let's go to the trains. Yes, novel idea. Let's go to a train. A train moving through the wind and all of the cottonwood floating down almost like snow.
Number 897-948-051926, location QI 200.2, train ID M36419, engine CSX M363 employee J. Craig on the copy. Do not exceed the following speed, 25 over 25 miles per hour on two tracks between milepost QI 189.8 and QI 189.9. Signs no, over.
1538, 1538 KEM.
CSX train M364. M364 and M363 are east-west counterparts and probably my favorite trains to catch on the Indianapolis Line. 4 fallen flag cars, a 6-truck flat car, mid-train DPU, a great mix of freight. Oh yeah. M364 is an excellent train. Oh man, I've seen this group of hoppers before on train M364. I'm going to give you 3 looks at them. Train splits the signals for another day. Not entirely sure what they're going to be replaced with. Time will tell. Not too much time, mind you. But in the meantime, let's chase this DPU. Now we have an unusual car coming. It's red. It's a flat car. It has 6 trucks. Now look at the massive load it carries. Well, things don't always align, you know? Oh, yeah. Train M364 gave us some cool stuff to look at. Let's take a look at some of it a second time. Or a fourth time, as it were. Let's start with that flat car. Well, in this freeze, you can clearly see the 6 trucks under there. And that load. It's a perplexing load in there. That little crate. Who knows? Maybe it's the heaviest stuff on Earth. Maybe it's iridium or a meteorite. I make fun, but that was a cool car to see. A fun car to see. And now, here, how about this one? Did you see this? SP. UP Shield, but lettered for SP. And then our Western Fallen Flags. Western Pacific. I mean, this one blows me away. Really does. And then Mopac. Union Pacific, of course. And Chicago and Northwestern. Love seeing it. It was the second time I've seen it on M364. Hope to see it again, too. I was struck by the orange color of the PVC conduit CSX is using at Union City. It can be any color. It can be gray, white, black, you name it, but they chose orange. It's easy to see. I'm primarily seeing 4-inch duct on site, but also a little bit of 1 1/4-inch duct. These conduits will house brand new fiber optic cables connecting the various components of the signaling network here. As I fly over, you can see with all that orange ribbon that it's a complete overhaul. The footage with the CSX crews working was shot with their thumbs up. Now, there's many things to see here. The purple paint on the ballast indicates a location of existing signal cable below. Green shows where new cable is to be installed. The crew is using a very common Vermeer bore rig set up to make a bore shot under the tracks. And if you look closely, the bore rig is in fact drilling at this moment. The orange ducts that are on either side of the rig and the men working there have already been shot in by this crew. At your right is 1 1/4-inch diameter PVC, and at the left, 4-inch diameter. And the reason they use different sizings is because they will have different sizings of cable. For instance, they might have a very small fiber optic cable in the 1 1/4 inch duct, say a 48 count, and in the larger duct they may have a 96 count or a 188 count fiber, something larger. Here you can see that a base has already been set for the new signals. Actually, bases have been set on both sides of the tracks. Even with that information, it doesn't really tell us if the bases will support individual signal towers, which would have the signals at the side of the track, or a signal bridge, which would have the signals above the tracks. Just can't tell from what we see. The bore shot under the tracks is nearly complete, so the crew wheels a spool of 4-inch conduit into place. They unroll the conduit off the spool. They'll have to carry it over the tracks because, believe it or not, the shot is executed simply with a drill bit and pipe. And the material that you want to occupy the ground is pulled back into position. With a starter bit of duct pulled off of the reel, they'll tie the end of the duct to a stationary and well-anchored object, and then pull the truck away to run out the conduit. So the bore shot is complete, and now it's time for the heavy lift. They've measured the length of conduit. They have to pick it up and haul it over the track. Damn, it's hard enough walking track without lugging heavy crap like that. Yeah. My God. And it's always this way with materials. The conduit, the bend of it naturally is facing the wrong direction. So now he's attaching a chain which will be tied to the drill, and it'll be pulled back by the machine on the other side of the tracks. It'll be pulled into the ground, under the tracks, and back towards the machine.
Yeah. Alright. We good.
The bore head and the conduit are now connected, and they'll be pulled back.
Yep.
drizzle.
We interrupt this construction to bring you the regularly scheduled train. The work does pause underneath the track, and the men clear so as to not foul the track and give way to the train. And it's M363. I mentioned earlier, it's the compatriot to M364, one of my favorites. And I mean, right at the beginning of this train, you got Conrail boxcars. Oh, what's not to love? We even had this train utilizing the crossover.
Water.
And immediately upon the trains clearing the site, the work of pulling the duct back resumes.
Not like doo-doo, but it's got like a doo-doo or something. That's exactly what I think. That's the one I was going to, maybe. It was a weird name. Permanent radio guys? Yep. I hate you, Shannon. What? I hate you.
Just as the duct was pulled back by the bore rig, the fiber optic cable will need to be pulled through the conduit. The crew member holds a rope that will be fastened to the fiber to be pulled through. That work will be done by a different crew, a team that specifically pulls and splices fiber. They'll use a sawzall to cut off the excess conduit, and then the end of the duct will be capped. This shot then will be complete, and the machine will be moved to position for the next shot. The shot we were watching is complete. The machine is in position in the direction in which it's going to shoot, but it has to anchor itself and generally get the fine points down. And we'll watch those fine points now. The machine has rods that will sink into the ground and anchor its position because the drill rig vibrates like crazy, and it would become difficult. There goes one. It would be difficult for it to hold its position if it didn't have these rods securely into the ground. And now they're ready for another shot. But we will not be seeing that now. We've seen the process. So we'll move on and see some more trains. Back to the signals on the easterly end, back to Ohio, Union City, Ohio. The directional boring was being done on the Indiana side, on the westerly side of the line. Here comes M332, another great manifest train. Rapid fire, here comes another one. Back on the Indiana side of Union City for Hotshot Intermodal I-008. And wow, it's just incredibly windy. In the background, Big 4 station, the last of the railroad stations to survive in Union City. And there's not much to see of it because that roof that provides such magnificent shade and cover from the rain doesn't really give you a chance to see much. And then in the distance behind, there's a caboose. And my buddy Craig and I'll have a chat about that. Now here's a photo of the Big 4 station. It's just because of the way that roof projects as an eaves, it just made it one of those things those rare things that's better viewed from the ground than from the air. It's just my day to nitpick here, I guess, to call out Penn Central in a plaque like that rather than the Big 4 or New York Central. I don't know, or Conrail if you're going to go that road, just struck me strange. Like this caboose. Let's discuss.
92, he's on the other side of us eastbound, okay.
That's all right.
That's the one that's past us. All right, so, Craig, of course, was a signal maintainer, not for CSX, but for the Indiana Railroad and for Conrail, or not Conrail, but...
yes,
Conrail too, yes.
Conrail, Amtrak, and the Indiana Railroad. Yes.
Yeah, so of course I had to bring him out here so he could see the work.
Yes.
And those towers before they come down, want to come back after they're replaced and new stuff's up. But in the meantime, we saw this caboose. And
this thing.
Yeah.
What is this thing?
Yeah. That PC logo, to me, that looks like as if AI drew it. Someone said, hey, AI, what is it? Oh, Chat GPT.
Yeah.
I want a Penn Central logo, a PC logo. That's what you'd come up with.
That's what you get.
I mean, it's really bizarre because the PC at the left of the window and the numbers, that lettering looks on point. And if you could get that on point, why wouldn't you get the other one on point?
Especially since you had the original PC logo behind it, which you can see in the faded paint if you get up close, and they couldn't even trace that.
Yeah, I don't know what they were doing.
I think somebody won a contest is what I think. They had a contest and that was the winner.
That was the winner.
But this caboose is really a winner. This is really something for the life of me, cannot figure out where the heritage of this monstrosity lies. It almost looks like a tender that somebody put a roof on, but it doesn't have the frame of a tender. It's a nice shoving platform. I'm sure whatever shop made this was very proud of it. And the only history that I could see on it was people talking here in the park itself of it being here. But it does say XPRR. There's no confirmation of that here
No, because if you look at the trucks, they're stamped PC.
They're stamped Penn Central.
No,
so
I understand. Trucks can be changed out. That's not an absolute.
They sure can, and it looks like it has the age of going back to the Pennsylvania era, pre-1968, but...
And why is that?
Well, just because of the materials used, the way it's put together, it really looks like we put something together with what we had. It was an old saying I remember from Amtrak with my boss. As soon as he'd walk away from the job, we would tell him what we needed to do this, that, and the other thing, and he'd go, all right, boys, well, make do with what you got.
Right.
And this looks like they made do with what they had, and they did a fine job. I mean, here it is, 2026.
Yeah, still standing.
Still standing. Still probably could roll down the rails if you gave it a little bit of love and a COTS.
Yeah. Journal boxes. That's kind of the giveaway.
Well, yeah, they'd have to do something about that too.
Yeah. Right. If you wanted to roll down the rails, you couldn't do it with journal boxes.
Get yourself some roller bearings, yeah, some Timkins. But it could be done. I mean, it looks like it could be usable, but what it is, it fascinates me, and I would really, really love to know what the history of this fine piece of rolling stock is. So anyone out there who's especially a Pennsylvania buff, maybe you can fill in some gaps. Would love to know.
You know how weird stuff all comes together. The station that we're at here is former Big Four, New York Central. Of course, Penn Central melds all that together in its own particular way. You look at this caboose, and it has Conrail blue. Conrail blue is peeking through, and underneath the Conrail blue, jade green is peeking through. So it certainly was in use during the Penn Central era. And underneath the jade green, I don't know. But to me, I looked at it and I said, well, this is not a Pennsy cabin car.
No,
No,
this is definitely a home brew. I mean, this is just, it's phenomenal. It's just, I cannot make heads or tails of it. I mean, look at that roof. Those are pop rivets, basically.
Let me zoom in on that.
Those are pop rivets over there, and you can see the jade green there in the roof itself, so you know that's going back to the original construction. And it doesn't look like there's anything under that green. So I mean, that gets us back to the PC era and not further. So makes me wonder about the Penn Central or the Pennsylvania Railroad history to it that is marked online. You can't always trust that stuff.
That's what Abe Lincoln said.
Yep, and we are going on what we can see here, the Penn Central trucks. The jade green seems to be the basis up there on the roof of the color, so I would say this is Penn Central era, but still, man, I want to know. I just want to know anything I could find out about. This is my favorite caboose in the whole wide world right now.
And back over to the Ohio side, there's a transload operation, and it was quite active on the 19th of May. Here, truck is pulling in. The driver has positioned the truck at a different car than the pump setup is. So here he is dismantling the pump, and he's going to shift it down to the next car down the line, closer to his truck, which is a car that is ready to be pumped. Honestly, I'm pleasantly surprised to see this kind of operation. 5 tank cars on a siding for CSX. This is not a short line operation. We saw Transload on the Central Indiana and Western, and small railroads like that will hustle and chase after smaller traffic like that because it can be profitable for them, whereas the reputation of the big Class 1 railroad is they don't do this sort of thing. Well, here you go. They're doing this sort of thing. Also pleased to see the elevator doing business. In fact, it was doing a lot of business. It was truck after truck after truck coming away with a load of grain. Yeah, all this activity, really satisfying to see. In Union City, Ohio. A little later, another truck was here. We were guesstimating, 3 trucks to drain 1 tank car, so 15 trucks to get the job done on this string of tanks. We didn't see 15, but we saw a lot. Now, having struck up conversation with the CSX employees doing the work, I'd come to learn that this project is going to take a while. The estimates I was hearing was complete by August, complete by September. So, we'll probably be back here once or twice, maybe 3 times by the time it's done at Union City, both Indiana and Ohio. We'll track this work. It was nice to get down the Indianapolis line a little bit further east. Seems like I go just a little bit further east each time. Had features on Fortville, on Muncie, on farmland, and now straddling the Ohio line, Union City. I hope you've enjoyed this look at Union City, at the Indianapolis line of CSX, and of the signaling work that's going on in this location. Please join me again. Join me every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Same story, Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern, for a new video. And I'll take you to the trains.